Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we were having a great time because we were healing and reviving the farm. Healing in that we had our very first villager join the hospital, Althea Bonnet. She became a healer after training as a seamstress, which is a bit of an aside, but you know. She's taking the skills that she has and she's applying it to places where you might not expect, sewing up injuries and wounds, especially because the sewing workshop was kind of full on workers already. They didn't really have space for expansion, but I love the fact that Althea did not kind of stick around with just that one thing she wanted to do. She looked at the kingdom and she thought, you know what? Since I've been young, there's been a hospital that's been built, but nobody has been kind of qualified enough to work there, but I am going to kind of switch things up and I'm going to go ahead and pursue work at the hospital, even though I come from a family of bakers. So I'm really proud of Althea Bonnet for doing exactly that. Her grandmother is still alive and kicking at the bakery, which is amazing. She's Marie's granddaughter. But also, we kind of started reviving our farming industry, which was very exciting. My favorite villager, because she's so beautiful, Cecilia Taylor, joined as our second farmer alongside her mentor Dora, and not only that, Dora took on another apprentice in little Astrid, so we have potentially another farmer in the future. So farming industry is doing pretty decent. Now, that aside, I noticed, guys, that our lumberjack industry and our mason industry, so like wood and stone, have completely collapsed. We have no lumberjacks, and I was not paying attention to this. We have no lumberjacks and we have no masons. But that is not my fault per se. It's just that the villagers of Lakeburg, no one's having any potential or desire to work in these industries. Everyone's kind of moving on to other things. You know, all the folks, they want to be in the sewing workshop and in the bakery. The sewing workshop, who knows? Maybe because it's kind of closer in town, like it's the center of town, so to speak, and then also the bakery because it's probably like nice and warm in there. Everyone wants to work in very comfortable places, right? I imagine being in the lumberjack's lodge or the mason's workshop, it's probably a lot harder on the villagers, and so nobody's really keen, especially kids who come from those kind of families. I don't think they're particularly keen to stay in those industries, which is unfortunate. But okay guys, we're in the year 57. We're actually almost about to end this year because it is 22nd December, but let's get things going and see what kind of happens, where the villagers might decide to take us. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Calanth Winterborn has died of hunger. She is one of our childhood sweethearts, married to Wolfgang. They've known each other since they were babies. We all know their story. Born one day apart, had their first kiss at 13, always were in touch. As soon as they became 18 years old, they got married to each other and they were infatuated. And I swear I checked off camera. If you jump to their house, I checked to see their desire to have a child, and they were obsessed. They did not have a baby, but they were obsessed with having a baby. And I was actually so excited to see a child of theirs from this love story. She's died at 23? In these times of dire famine, Calanth Winterborn couldn't find enough food to survive. Deficiencies, weight loss, and a general weakness finally got the better of this unfortunate villager who couldn't receive adequate help in time. Calanth! Guys, I don't know how Wolfgang's gonna deal with this. Oh, Calanth. Oh, Calanth. And Wolfgang was finally kind of getting his life in order. You know, he decided to become a blacksmith in the last episode. Oh my goodness. Well, he is going to lose his home, unfortunately, as a result of that. We all know the drill at this point. I am so sorry, Wolfgang. They were only together, what, like... they were only together since they were 18. That's so sad. That's like 5 years. They're only together for 5 years before she died. Oh, my heart. My heart hurts. But that does mean that, I mean, Wolfgang, yes, he's heartbroken. I think he would be gutted. I don't think he'd be able to find love easily after that, because he and Calanth had like a real bond. Like, I don't think anyone's had the type of love story that they had. So I think this would be very difficult for him, especially because of the hopes he had for his, like, himself and his wife regarding, you know, a family and such. But we do have Cecilia, who's currently single, and she's 19. I mean, he's 23. It's not that big of an age gap. And Cecilia, I don't think Wolfgang would initiate this, because I imagine he would be very hung up on Calanth's death. But I think Cecilia would maybe try and ask Wolfgang out on a date. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, Cecilia. Yeah, she's gonna ask him out on a date. Obviously, the affinity is gonna be awful right now. It's like a 9%. But I imagine, like, they have two things they disagree on: silver and gold, and fishing, but they agree on divination. They both dislike it. But yeah, Wolfgang and his wife, they had such a good affinity. It was like good or excellent. It was in the positive range, basically. So, I don't know, I feel like Wolfgang would maybe, like, he's had such a long history with Calanth. I feel like anyone he ends up with after Calanth, he's gonna compare with his first wife without realizing it. Like, I could not see them, like, they would not have gotten divorced. I could never see them getting divorced, but I never pictured that one of them might die. Okay, well, let's see how this date goes. Okay, we're starting off at the hill by moonlight. We could ask if the cards provided Wolfgang insight into their future, or say that there's a charming fishing spot nearby. We'll go with the fishing spot. What a great idea. Cecilia and Wolfgang are having an extended conversation about the best bait for river fishing. And then they go to the lake. We can talk about the importance of cuddles in a relationship, or say money creates more problems than it solves. We'll go with that. Wolfgang also thinks gold should be distributed equally among all. Come on, baby, eat the rich. Okay, so they are going to get married. So he's not going to be on the streets. And this is Cecilia's first husband, Cecilia, who is my favorite villager. So now he has joined the Taylor family, and they are going to be infatuated. Now, I feel like the way I'm going to interpret this is probably Wolfgang. Maybe Cecilia has kind of seen Wolfgang around town, and maybe she's like admired him because he is around her age, so I can see her maybe admiring him, and maybe even admiring the relationship he had with Calanth and their love story. This is something everyone would have known in the village or in the kingdom. And Cecilia, perhaps, and because Calanth was working at the sewing workshop, and I think Cecilia, I mean, the farm is not that far from town, you know? She was a farming apprentice, but still, they would talk, right? Especially the girls around a similar age that would gossip. So I think she's had an admiration for him, and maybe after Calanth's death, she is kind of reaching out to him to give him some comfort, and maybe Wolfgang is appreciating the comfort that Cecilia is giving him, and the understanding that she is giving him, but also, you know, a roof over his head while he tries to get over his heartbreak. I think that's the way I'm going to interpret this. Yeah, okay, so they are getting married. We'll see how that goes between the two of them. So unexpected. But okay, I'm curious to see. Let's go to your house. Okay, they do want a baby. They have a 10% chance. If they have a kid, I mean, I want Cecilia's genes to carry on because she's so beautiful. I want not according to Lakeburg standards, but she's average according to Lakeburg. But like, I think she's the most beautiful that we have had born ever in our Lakeburg. So I would love it if she could have children of her own. But wow, that was a wild start to the episode. I was not expecting that in the slightest. Okay, let's keep going. But yeah, in terms of, you know, having no lumberjacks and masons, we have 3,313 wood. But that is it. That's our stockpile. if we cut into it, we cut into it. And the same for our stone, 487. But if we cut into it, we cut into it. We don't have any more coming in from anywhere. Okay, let's keep going. Nathan and Hermione are pleasantly surprised. Are you guys mentor and apprentice? Hold on a second. Oh, sorry, that's his daughter. My bad. Hermione. Oh, look at that. What a surprise. Because sometimes I forget how everyone's related. So Cecilia is Nathan's first daughter, his oldest daughter, and then Hermione is his second daughter with a different wife. Yeah, because Cecilia was Margaret's daughter and Hermione is Dora's daughter. Okay. So Hermione, you cute little thing, she's spending time with her father and they're being pleasantly surprised. That is actually really, really cute. Oh, that makes him like more entertained and stuff and ups his morale because now he feels like he's working for his family, Sometimes I imagine that Nathan feels a little bit, I think, discouraged, especially because he had like a really good friendship with Eloise, and then when she passed away, I kind of get the feeling that maybe he was very discouraged by the circumstances of the kingdom and the situation in which everyone was living. Maybe he started reflecting on his own family and thinking that like his wife has it really tough trying to keep everyone alive because she's like the sole provider of food, essentially, vegetables, and even wheat. Like his industry, literally the bakery, they've been relying on Dora, and she can't really do much on her own to keep the bakery going in any capacity. There's been that. I don't know how good of a relationship he has with his daughters. I mean, with Cecilia, it's like an average relationship. Oh, so that's kind of interesting. I never thought about this, but I guess Cecilia was mentored to her stepmother, and she is now working like with her stepmother and former mentor. See, because I forget about certain connections, I don't make those kind of connections. That is kind of fascinating to know. But yeah, I think with Nathan, because he doesn't have the closest relationship with his daughter, I mean, it's a 53%, he's much closer with his newer family, right? Maybe sometimes he feels like he's a bit of a disappointment as a dad as well. And it's kind of reassuring to know that at least Hermione enjoys, his company and having him by her side. And that he can be there for her and provide for her. That's kind of sweet. Okay, well, at least he's got his head fixed on straight for something. And oh my goodness, as he gets older, he looks more and more like his dad Hubert, doesn't he? His parents, this is so interesting, but his parents were farmers. He obviously didn't want to farm. He became a baker instead. But his current wife, his second wife, Dora, is also a farmer. And then his oldest daughter became a farmer too. It's like farming is in their blood. It's great. Farming is in their blood. Kind of love that. Okay, let's keep going. Bruce has died from a boo-boo, or so he thought after stubbing his toe on a misplaced toolbox. The supposedly minor bruise quickly fled into a moderate infection, followed by a fatal dose of incurable gangrene. Althea, honey, are we having a bit too many deaths? I think Althea is still trying to get her bearings, with working at the hospital, guys. Bruce has died at 33 years old. Oh my goodness. And now Ilana is single, and we have one less carpenter. Okay. That was so unexpected. A carpenter died, and it wasn't because of food. He died because he stubbed his toe. Oh no. Please, safety, everyone. Let's look after safety. Health and safety. Oh, okay. Oriana and Crispin want to adopt Han, who is 17 years old, an apprentice seamster. And who is he apprenticed to, actually? But Oriana, she probably sees Han at her workplace and is thinking to herself, you know what, Oriana, I feel, is a very, very sweet woman. She's a very kind-hearted woman. I say this because this is the second child they will have adopted when he's like 17, or around that age. Because I think Wolfgang was 16 or 17 when Oriana and Crispin adopted him. And that, I think, is something he's always been really grateful for. And now Oriana and Crispin are adopting another boy they've seen on the street, Han. They've never had kids of their own, but they always kind of keep their home open for unfortunate children, which I think is so admirable. So, okay, Han is going to join the Payne family. So, okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, that's adorable. So he has joined the family. That makes me really, really happy. But let's take a look. Oriana, you? Right, I'm mentoring Eamon. But okay. So yeah, I imagine she knows of Han because Han also is like an apprentice at the sewing workshop. His Godric's son. And I think he's actually being trained by Godric, if I'm not mistaken. His father is Godric. I think he's also being mentored by his dad. Yeah, he is. He is. Wow, isn't that interesting? Hold on a second. Godric, what's your family situation right now? Oh, that's right, because Godric has Naya. Right, Godric has Naya. I think that's his stepdaughter. Yeah, that's his stepdaughter, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he's got a different situation going on. He did not have space for his son, even though he mentors his son. That is such a strange situation to be in. Just imagine that. Because I completely forgot about that. I remember talking about the fact that Han would maybe feel a little bit surprised and betrayed by his father moving on and kind of leaving him out in the dirt because he assumed that he and his dad would always be together and work hard together. But I completely forgot about the fact that Han would have to see his dad's face every day at the sewing workshop because they are mentor and apprentice as well. But I suppose, even though his father wasn't paying too much attention, Oriana noticed his situation and she thought, you know what, we gave a wonderful home to Wolfgang and he turned out such a great person. Maybe we'll do the same for Han. Instead of having kids of our own, he's only got a couple years, we'll give Han a safe place to kind of stay and be. Oriana, you are so admirable. So admirable. Crispin as well, because it's been, I think, it's always been Oriana and Crispin together. And I think, yeah, they are madly in love, so I do adore that. That seems to be their life purpose almost. Okay, so things are going well for them. Very well for them. And Helios has passed on from asphyxiation. He's the other carpenter. What is up with our carpenters dying? While visiting the marketplace and tasting the butcher's latest sausage recipe a little too happily, Helios Blackwood felt the food going down the wrong hole and no one could revive him. At 42 years old, Helios has died. You know what? He became a carpenter for stability. He used to work at the rat nest, or the rodent nest as a rat trainer. I am so sorry. He did not realize, it's kind of interesting that Oliver is living like a very long and fruitful life over at the rat nest with his plague buddies, whereas Helios, he tried to do honest work and he died. Okay, so we have no carpenters. Our carpentry industry, that's a mouthful, has collapsed. We have many collapsed industries, like our fishing industry has also collapsed. It's a great time, guys. It's a great time. Our population's down to 26. Okay, well, we have Alana and Marie who are now single. Marie has outlived, at this point, 4 husbands. Brynja, Eldrick, Emmerich, and Helios. She's outlived 4 husbands, guys. They're all just dying. They're all dying. Okay, I think some of our children aged up, so I want to take a look at this. Oh, Hermione does not have a mentor right now. Hold on a second, child. Hold on a second. Naya has aged up. She's now 12 years old. She looks very, very lovely, actually. Naya looks quite pretty. She has a wonderful personality. She's like a perfect little girl. She is devout and humble, and she's smart. So she was the daughter of Sapphire and Walter. You know what? I'm not surprised if a daughter of Sapphire has a perfect personality, because her mother was like that. Her mother had the perfect personality. There was nothing you could complain about Sapphire. And Naya seems to be the same. Very nice, but I think she's like prettier than her mother. And she's the granddaughter of Lysander and Ursula. How fascinating. How very, very fascinating. But I think very quickly I wanted to check up on what's going on here. Okay, Hermione does not have a mentor. I'm so sorry, Hermione. Oh, she wants to be like a carpenter or a builder or a lumberjack, all of which is admirable, but we literally have no one in those industries. There is no way to help her out. We've got like no one in those industries. Was she an apprentice seamstress? She was, apparently. Right, Calanth has died. Wait, Calanth has died, so unfortunately she can't apprentice there. Oh, I'm so sorry, Hermione. There is like... Is there no one else that can take a... Wait, no, Mirabelle can. Hold on a second. Oh, well, she doesn't... okay. She wanted to be an apprentice seamstress before, but now her aspirations have changed. Okay, so after the death of her mentor, I kind of feel like Hermione is disenfranchised with working at the sewing workshop, because maybe there's too much drama happening at the sewing workshop. Like, her mentor died, not only that, Han and his father, they kind of fell apart in a lot of ways, and Han was kind of left out to be an orphan on the streets. Maybe Hermione has like too many negative feelings about people working in the sewing workshop, and it's becoming a bit of a stifling place for her, because now her opinions have kind of changed. There is someone who can, like Mirabelle, can mentor her, but she no longer wants to be at the sewing workshop. Ay, ay, ay. And maybe she's looking around town and noticing, you know, there's all these other places that need help, but unfortunately there's no one there to mentor her in this. And Mabel has not changed her aspirations or anything like that, so there's nothing to help over here. But oh, Hermione, I'm so sorry, Hermione, that the world is being so cruel. I am so sorry. Well, guys, I think this is probably a good place for us to, you know, wrap up. But we are down to like 26 villages. I don't know how Lakeburg is operating at this point, but yeah, we are down to 26 villages. It would be very nice for us to have some children, some babies. Just a quick scan of the households. Let's take a look to see if anyone, like, we do not have any pregnancies, have not had any pregnancies. I mean, the Morrison family, they have a 4% chance. The Bonnet family have a 6% chance. The Taylor family have a 9% chance. But we don't really... There's a lot of empty houses as well. But yeah, I think we've gone through all the homes. We don't have any children being born. We like, there's houses without people living in them. The amount of families that are existing, the couples we have reduced. The children being born have reduced. When was the last baby? I mean, I guess we had Conrad Frost not too long ago. A year ago he was born. But still, we don't have a lot of kids right now. And when's our next recruitment? In 2 months. So in the next episode, when we come back, we're going to be able to recruit some new villagers. Hopefully they can, you know, settle into some of the industries that have died out. And we'll see how things go from there. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.